Hi and welcome to Valley View Retreat, our wonderful home here in the Sierra de las Nieves mountains in southern Spain. It's Sunday today and I'm heading across to our local boot market to have a look at some furniture, particularly some outside furniture for the tiny house. It's the first time that we've been allowed out of our own municipality in about 5 weeks or so. So it's my first trip, other than for essential shopping, in quite a while. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll catch up with you when I get to the market. Okay. Our local large town is called Coin. At least it's spelled Coin, C-O-I-N. But there's an accent over the I, which means that the emphasis is on that particular syllable, or on that vowel. So its actual name is Coin. And it's not huge. It's 20-something thousand people, I would think, and it has a shopping centre, a small shopping centre, and underneath that shopping centre on Sundays they have like a flea market or a boot sale, and that's where I'm on my way to now. I'm just arriving at it at the moment. It's a very unusual day here. We've had summer-like weather for nearly a week. And today it's overcast and cloudy and 12.5 degrees at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is about 10 degrees cooler than it was yesterday morning at the same time. So we're arriving here now. I'm going to park the car up and then I'll show you what the actual boot market is like. So as per guidelines, I'm wearing my mask, and here behind me you can see the back of the shopping centre. So full of all kinds of second-hand furniture and some new stalls. So I have a stall selling some things like flowers and ceramics and stuff like that. But in general it's just a boot sale. So my trip to the local boot fair, I don't know why I kept calling it I don't know what I was calling it yesterday, but anyway, the trip to the local boot fair turned out not to be as exciting as I'd anticipated. There were very few stalls actually there, and the ones that were, there wasn't a lot to choose from, and certainly from a furniture point of view there was virtually nothing. However, I did manage to get two of these and a sugar bowl, which I thought were extraordinarily pretty and made by a local artisan, so we're helping to support the local community. Was it worth travelling what amounts to a 35 or 36 kilometre round trip to actually get two mugs and a coffee, two mugs and a sugar bowl? Well, yeah, because I hadn't been out since I don't know when, other than to go to the supermarket. So yeah, it was fine. Anyway, some of the things that have been happening here over the last week since I spoke to you last were it rained a lot yesterday afternoon, and during the week I did a huge amount of work, and I'll just show you the finished kitchen, some photographs of that. We also managed to strip. When I say strip, I mean strip the old varnish off this bed. I made a new headboard for the bed. So Laurie actually sanded this down, stripped it and sanded it down, and we left it looking quite rustic, and then I revarnished it. I think it looks quite well, and when it's dressed up it will look quite nice. So thanks, Laurie. It's rustico, yes, but it's smooth as anything and extraordinarily comfortable. I've put the mattress on the bed base. We've got mattress protectors and lots of pillows and whatever, so that's nearly ready to be made up. This wall behind me was sanded down, completely stripped and revarnished to match the wall on that side. And what else happened? It doesn't sound like we got an awful lot done this week, and yet I've been working non-stop every day. So we did get a lot done. A lot of firewood had to be moved from one place to another, and we had to cut that. Our almond blossom time has finished. So we're into our spring flowers already, which is amazing considering it's not even the end of February yet. I'll show you some photos of that. So all that blossom that you saw in a previous video has already turned into these, which are the almonds. Already within a couple of weeks they're big enough to see, and some of them, like this one here, is pretty large. So by August or so, these will be ready to harvest. I'm getting ready to tackle the outside, the grounds around the tiny house, because in here really all it needs now is, I don't know if you can see this couch that I'm sitting on, but this is a rattan couch for outside. So I need a couch for in here, a two-seater couch that will go at the end of that bed, and then we've got the coffee table that goes here and maybe another chair, but basically that is finished. All the plumbing in here is done now. Most of the electrics are done. I've put lights in underneath the shine down on the countertop, a light for the kitchen. I'm getting ready now to finish up the electrical installation so that the fuse box and everything goes in its right position. And then hopefully by next week we'll be able to give you a tour of the completed tiny house. The outside has caused me some problems. It's hard to know what to do because the weather here is so hot during the summer. Putting plants outside when there's no one staying in the tiny house doesn't make any sense, because I'd have to carry water from goodness knows where. So I'm thinking of doing this like a dryland garden, a desert garden, with a lot of gravel and some very hardy plants, and then other plants that will move up when people are staying here. Potted plants that will move up to prettify the place. It's very hard to know what to do when it's not somewhere that people live in all the time. Anyway. During the time that our German Workaway volunteers were here, there are a couple of things I didn't tell you. So we had problems with the hot water boiler that I put in here, and that had to be replaced. So this behind me is the, forgive the microphone, this behind me is the new boiler. which we had to put in. The old one stopped working within 2 days of them arriving, and it was actually easier to get a new one than it is to get the old one repaired, even though it's probably a minor repair. Getting it to a service shop was impossible, whereas getting the new one delivered was relatively easy. We put it in, and it took quite a bit of fiddling to get it to work. When we did get it working properly, it lasted a day and then stopped working again. And that was as a result of the regulator, the new regulator that I'd put on the butane tank. And literally that lasted 8 days. And once I'd figured out that that was the problem and replaced it with one that I had in the dome, it's worked perfectly ever since. So just one of the running repairs that had to be done while they were actually here in order to ensure their comfort. And also, when they arrived first, I had them up at our car parking spot, and it wasn't as comfortable as I would have liked for them. It wasn't as flat, even though we tried to chuck up the wheels a bit and whatever. And it can be, if the wind is blowing, that's where you'll feel it up there. So they decided to move down to the flat area, which is outside and below the tiny house. So this flat area down here. And I'll show you some footage of them when they were actually there. However, when they were leaving, getting up the drive proved to be quite difficult. The tyres on the van weren't actually suitable for this terrain, and camper vans are very much rear wheel biased. The weight tends to be over the rear wheel, and it was a front wheel drive van. So in the end, it couldn't get up. So I had to use my Finca tractor, which any of you who watched previous videos will know is a 1992 Land Rover Discovery, which has no petrol tank or no diesel tank. It runs out of an 8-litre water bottle and has no cooling system. And so we used that to drag it out, and I've got some interesting and slightly funny footage of that and the reaction of the the German people to the weird and wonderful rustic way that we live and move things around the place. So I hope you enjoyed that. I don't have much more to tell you. It hasn't been a particularly spectacular week in terms of getting anything dramatic done, except for this, which I'm quite proud of, and the kitchen, which finally is finished and plumbed and everything else. So until the next time, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye. You ready to go in? You ready to go in? Good girl.